What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, continuing with the unveiling of my Madden 18, Madden 17 rosters. If you don't know really everything that goes into this roster, please go watch the Philadelphia Eagles one, where the first 3 minutes is me going in depth. What you're gonna see through all these rosters, what encompasses these rosters, what makes them different than anyone else. But essentially, Cliff Notes. It's my own personal ratings mixed with Pro Football Focus, with their stats, with free agents have been added. First 3 rounds for every single team in terms of draft picks have been added. Rounds 4 to undrafted free agent. I've included the notable players. But yeah, and you guys are going to be getting these rosters for free as soon as we hit 35,000 subscribers. Elsewhere, people are charging money for these things. I just figure you scratch my back with, sharing the love, helping me get the ball rolling for Madden 18. I'll help you guys out by giving these free rosters, which they should be. They should always be free. So today, luck of the draw, I'm doing these all completely random. It's the first NFC East divisional opponent of my Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to be talking about, I try to be as unbiased as possible. But as always, Giant fans, if you ask nicely because you disagree with the rating, I may take it into consideration and modify it. But yeah, without further ado, look at the quarterback spot. Here's going to be the first hot take. Eli Manning. I gave Eli Manning an 82 overall because last year was as prototypical of an Eli Manning season as you can get. The win-loss looked great, 11-5, but the stats were pretty Eli Manning. 4,000 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 16 picks. Interceptions are still way too high for Eli Manning. I mean, they were, it wasn't like they had a new head coach that was changing the ups. Their OC made their head coach. It was the same offensive playbook. Why are those interceptions so high? Oh, because it's Eli Manning. As long as he's not in the playoffs, he's, an above-average quarterback. But I think 82 is not bad at all. I mean, it's higher than what I gave Carson Wentz. But 82, I think that's about fair for Eli Manning. I really do like the pick of Davis Webb. So I gave him a 71, which is probably the highest overall I gave anyone that was drafted. What was he, 3rd, 4th round pick? I think Davis Webb was my sleeper quarterback of this year's draft class. That was a good pick. Maybe he could be the future quarterback there for the Giants. We got Geno Smith with a 69 and Josh Johnson with a 64. Down to the running backs, we gave Shane Vereen a 79 overall. I think he is, when healthy, one of the better receiving backs in the NFL. Only played, like 1 start last season. So I'm still basing this off of last year, which I think he was an 81 in my rosters. He's really, really good as a receiving back. I don't think he's a product of the Patriots system. You see guys like James White and Dion Lewis. I think Vereen can be a big-time playmaker for the Giants, so we gave him a 79. Maybe that was a little too generous because he didn't do a whole lot last year. But that's what we're sticking with. Now we have Paul Perkins, who's going to be the lead back, you'd guess, next year for the Giants. Had 456 rushing yards and 0 touchdowns. Had a couple, I think he had 150 receiving yards as well. He's not bad at a UCLA. I liked him coming out of UCLA. We have Darkwa here with a 75, another guy that can contribute and get some solid playing time. They got Sean Drone coming from the San Francisco 49ers. He's not bad either. I mean, a bunch of these, no flashy running back. I think it's going to be another year where the Giants failed to establish a run because they just did not want to address the offensive line in free agency or during the draft. And their running back still, they don't have a guy that I see between the tackles that's a 1,000-yard back. They got Wayne Gallman from Clemson. I like that selection. We gave him a 69. And we have George Wynn here with a 65. Fullback, Nikita Whitlock, 71. I don't even know if he's still on the goddamn roster, to be honest with you. But because of the limitations of the offline player management, it will not let you remove fullbacks. If there's already a fullback on the roster, it will not let you remove it to make there 0 fullbacks on the roster. But for some reason, teams that have 0 fullbacks are fine. I don't know, man. There's certain limitations. Some of them are very, very confusing and frustrating. But Whitlock is here. Wide receiver, we give Odell Beckham Jr. a 92 overall. I think he's the 4th or 5th highest wide receiver in these rosters. I was trying not to be, even though I hate his guts, trying not to be as biased or anything like that. He had 101 catches, 1,300 yards, and 10 touchdowns last year. I mean, he's a good wide receiver. We'll leave it at that. Braden Marshall coming over as a free agent from the Jets. We gave him an 85. Old man Braden Marshall. I think this is a good offense for him to come in for his glory years that he's going to have. I think he said he's going to play 2 more seasons. So I'm a little bit worried as an Eagle fan that it looks like the Giants are just going to be an air raid Baylor type offense. Sterling Shepard as a rookie, we gave him, well, now he's going to sophomore season, but as a rookie, 65 catches, 683 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Even though it's kind of faux pas for Eagle fans, I actually drafted him in my big fantasy league, and he was solid. He was kind of shit down the stretch, but for most part of the season, he was good, so we gave him an 80. Dwayne Harris, more of a special teams type playmaker with a 71. Norwood, 68. Roger Lewis, 67. And Tavares King, 66. I think Lewis actually wasn't that bad for him last year. Had a couple big plays here and there, But Yeah, these are the wide receivers. I think they did an all right job. Jump to the tight ends. We have Evan Engram, who we bumped his speed up. I hate people that in my Madden 18 ratings video, which got like 40-some thousand views. The top post says I was just going for the overalls. The video was overalls, not attributes. They're like, oh, you gave Evan Engram 86 speed? I'm working on it. It was a work in progress. Okay, Evan Engram gets 90 speed. Ran that like almost a goddamn 4.3 40 time. He's a beast. He's not really a tight end, though. So, I mean, 76 I feel is kind of high, but we had to give the people what they wanted with the speed. I think Evan Ingram's probably more so 74. Not a complete tight end. Pretty much going to be another wide receiver on that offense. Wouldn't be surprised to see someone like Brandon Marshall have better run blocking. But Ingram's not bad, man. At Ole Miss, I think he had, you know, looking back at the history of Ole Miss while he was there, I've said countless times, I always thought he was a better receiver than Laquan Treadwell. And going into last year's draft, Laquan Treadwell, for most of that process, was the #1 wide receiver. And I always thought Evan Engram was better. So he's a 75. They got Rhett Ellison, who they paid decent money. I was very surprised. One of the more head-scratching moves in free agency in the NFC East. He's a 75. Will Ty, 74. Jarrell Adams, 66. Lacoste, 65. And long snapper Diassi, 54. Going to left tackle, we are maybe the worst left tackle in the NFL today, and that is Ereck Flowers. We gave him a 71, just, I don't know, just so I don't get shit on, I guess. Maybe that's why I did it. Like, realistically, if I was giving him, like, he'd be like a 60, not a 69 because he fucks, maybe a 68. He is not very good at all. And they got this guy named Fallen, which is pretty much this offensive line. They're just falling down. Left guard, Justin Pugh, 83 overall. He's definitely serviceable. Pro Football Focus. Actually, let's pop out the Pro Football Focus grades here for the offensive line. That's what I use throughout this process to help because, I mean, how else do you grade offensive linemen? Ereck Flowers got a 51.6, everybody. I'm going to do that right now. We're gonna lower that down. 71 is way too high for Flowers. He got to be down in the 60s. We'll give him a 68. I feel like that's probably most appropriate. Awareness is way too high for a rookie. Didn't play a lot. What's this going to put him down to? 69. What's his impact blocking? I've seen him whiff on a couple nice little pancakes there. Give him a 78 for that. Let's pop him down. There we go. 68 for Ereck Flowers. Justin Pugh, we gave an 83. Pro Football Focus gave him an 83 grade. So that's, you know, right on par there. Center Weston Richburg, we gave him an 82. Pro Football Focus gave him an 82. As you can see, very, very inspired from Pro Football Focus. Brett Jones with a 64. Right guard, John Jerry, we gave him a 77. Pro Football Focus gave him a 77. The interior of this offensive line for the Giants certainly is decent. I'd say they probably have the weakest offense. Well, they do have the weakest offensive line in the NFC East, but the interior is not bad. They do enough. They do their part to keep Eli Manning upright. And then at right tackle, they brought in DJ Fluker, who's kind of been a bust, but, you know, he may be their starting right tackle. Looks like their depth, according to their depth chart, he might be the guy they're trying to lead out with their starting offensive line. It looks like Flowers, a left tackle, Pugh, left guard, West Richburg, John Jerry, and it's going to be a battle between him and Bobby Hart. But Bobby Hart was not very good last year, so I think Fluker might have an opportunity to be the starting right tackle for the Giants this year. And they got Biznowadi. Hey, I like that pick. Even though we only gave him a 62, I like that pick. Left defensive end, Jason Pierre-Paul, who we gave an 86 overall on the defensive side of the ball. JPP had 7 sacks last year in 12 games. I think he had just shy of 50 tackles. He's not bad. Let's be honest. He's not. You can tell that his wrap-up ability and, you know, contribution against the run. You can see the finger hook thing, the whole firework incident. I've watched a couple. Obviously, I see at least 2 Giants games a year, and you can see his like wrap-up tackling's not as good as it once was, but he's still, you know, so freakishly athletic that he can still make plays. So I think 86 is fair for JPP. Akwara 68 and Win 65. That's a weird name. Right defensive end Olivier Vernon. We gave him an 87. He had 88.5 sacks last season, 1 forced fumble, and over 50 tackles. He was very good. I had him in my IDP league as a defensive end for a couple weeks. Very serviceable. I don't know if he necessarily lived up to that gigantic contract he got with 8.5 sacks. I think you maybe want a guy that's getting paid that kind of money to get double digits, but he certainly was not bad by any means. I'm not even going to pronounce that guy's name. He got a 66, Minponga, 65, and Isaac, what the hell, that's a weird name. Williams, we'll go Williams, 61. Defensive tackle, we give Snacks an 88, one of the best nose tackles. I think he actually is the highest nose tackle out of anyone in these rosters, and he deserved it, man. He's a beast against the run. So an 88 for Snacks, who had, Jesus Christ, like 80-some tackles, 2.5 sacks, a forced fumble. He's a beast. They had Dalvin Tomlinson, who got a 68. I thought that was kind of a reach where they drafted him. I think he was in the 2nd round. but he needs to come in and replace Jonathan Hankins, so I get the idea for that move. Bromley 67 and Thomas 62. Left outside linebacker Devin Kennard, we gave him a 79 overall last year. Kennard had, Jesus, 50-some tackles, a sack in 9 starts. I think he's going to be pushed to be a starter this year. Looking at the Giants, he could be their starting Sam linebacker. So, yeah, 79 for him. Middle linebacker, JT Thomas and BJ Goodson are going to be battling up for the entire interior. I think both these guys are listed as starters. Oof, nice. Yeah, neither one of these guys are really that special. Looking at the stats last year, not seeing lots. Where's Keenan Robinson? He's not on the roster no more. They let Keenan Robinson go, who's like their best tackler last season. I mean, obviously, no, he's still there, isn't he? Keenan Robinson's still on the roster, right? Keenan Robinson's still on the roster. It says here he's still on the roster. We're having a goddamn revelation here. I hope he's still on the roster. Well, actually, I don't hope because he was all decent. Keenan Robinson? Keenan Robinson? Keenan Robinson? There we go. He's back. Keenan Robinson's back. But still, he's a right outside linebacker, not an interior one. So, yeah, good luck with the interior linebacking. Why didn't you go after a linebacker in the draft? Who knows? At a right outside linebacker, we have Jonathan Casillas. And now, returning, live break before your eyes, Keenan Robinson here. Yeah, Casillas was always kind of a special teamer, which is, you know, I guess that's what you want. But last year was their second leading tackler behind Landon Collins with 59 tackles. Sack and a half. 7 pass deflections. I mean, that's not actually that bad. Maybe we can give him a little bit of a bump. Wouldn't be against that. Keenan Robinson got a 73. Now recently rejoining the roster. Had 52 total tackles last year and 7 pass deflections. I always thought he was more of a middle linebacker, though. Just to give him benefit of the doubt again, because we were doing this shit live. Let's make him a middle linebacker, because those middle linebackers need a little bit of a help there. But again, I could be open to bumping both these guys up slightly, if you think. But, I mean, the linebacker core here for the Giants is almost as weak as their offensive line. Jumping to the secondary, though, where they're definitely the best, I would say, in the NFC East by almost a long shot. We got DRC with an 89 overall last year. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie had 6 picks, 21 pass deflections, 50 tackles, and a sack. I think 89 is, maybe you could give him an even debate that he should get a 90. I feel 89 is about fair where he should be. You got Janoris Jenkins, who I also gave an 89. Last year, Janoris Jenkins, 3 picks. 18 pass deflections, a forced fumble, a sack, and just shy of 50 tackles. Both these guys are a very, very decent cornerback pairing. You got Eli Apple, the rookie from last year, 76 overall. I mean, he wasn't great, but wasn't bad by any means, so I think 76 is about fair. They got Valentino Blake here, you know, just depth, 74. Free safety, Andrew Adams, who had a great rookie season coming out of nowhere from UConn. We gave him a 79 overall. Last year, Andrew Adams had an interception, 5 pass deflections. Just shy of 50 total tackles. Definitely serviceable free safety. So we get to 79. We have Thompson here, 69. And, oh, Jesus. McKelly Thompson, 66. And then strong safety, the highest overall on this roster. We had to give it to Landon Collins, who was a monster last year. 93 overall. He had 5 picks. One of those he brought back for a touchdown. 13 pass deflections, 4 sacks, 125 tackles. He did it all. Really, last year was, you know, he was like the Rashad Jones from 2015, 2016. I think, you know, hot take, giving him the higher overall, 1-point overall bump over Odell. But I think Landon Collins was the most valuable player for the Giants, so his Madden rating will reflect that. At the kicker, we have Robbie Gould, who's no longer there because kickers are just so goddamn frustrating trying to remove them. I think their starting kicker right now, I don't even know who the hell their starting kicker is right now, to be honest with you. But Robbie Gould is on the 49ers, I believe. And punter Brad Wing, who's still there. He was a decent punter last year. We gave him an 82 overall. So there you go, guys. Outside of the kicker, which you can totally change once you get into your connected franchise mode, there is my New York Giants Madden 18, Madden 17 roster. As always, if you ask nicely, I will tweak these overalls if you are a Giant diehard and you for some reason are still subscribed to my channel. But, yeah, that will do it here. It's 35,000 subscribers. Share the love. Spread the word. These will be coming out for free. So thank you guys all for watching. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace.